Welcome back to the Wrong Advice Podcast. I'm your host, John Picciuto. I'm very excited to have my good buddy, Mr. Richard Mianulli, on the pod today. Rick, how you doing, buddy?
We're good. We're recording?
We're recording, yeah.
Hi, Mom.
This is a very special podcast, one that Rick and I have been talking about doing for, a month or two at least. And we're going to affectionately title this The Movie Podcast.
Yeah.
Rick and I are avid movie watchers. No, Siri, not you. We're both avid movie watchers. I probably watch 20 movies a week. Rick a little bit less. He's got some children that inhibit that a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're going to go through some of our favorites, hot button topics, likes, dislikes, the whole nine yards. I want to kick it off very easily. What's your favorite movie of all time?
It's pretty loaded. I mean, it would probably be a tie. So if I was going on Desert Island, I'll only have to watch, I'll make it two movies. It's Kill Bill Volume 1 and Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Wow. Interesting. That's Desert Island, two choices. Neither one of those would be
Yours.
No. I would have to have something with a little bit of hope in it. Okay. I don't think either of those movies would particularly like.
Okay, so maybe you give Kill Bill 1 and 2 with package, so it's not like it's a cliffhanger.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be like a rom-com and then like, something like Everything Everywhere All at Once. Something to like make me think that there's life is still worth living even though I'm alone stuck on a deserted island.
Oh, so if we're doing that theme, then I guess I would go with Shawshank then. Wouldn't be possible.
Shawshank, I have the list in front of me. Shawshank was ranked the number 1 IMDb movie of all time. How do you feel about that?
I would need to see, if you want to read off the other top 10.
I'll give you the IMDb top 10. Shawshank, Godfather Part 1, The Dark Knight, Godfather Part 2, 12 Angry Men, wildly overrated.
Yeah.
Schindler's List.
Okay.
Lord of the Rings, The Return of the King.
Great movie.
Pulp Fiction. Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. And The Good, the Bad, the Ugly. I personally love Lord of the Rings. Having two of them in the top 10 of the greatest movies of all time seems a little crazy to me.
Yeah, to me, Return of the King is the only one that should be in the top
Agreed.
20 even maybe. But,
yeah.
Hearing that that's the top 10, and I'd love to see maybe the top 50 are. Shawshank, again, kind of going back to what we first said, is probably on there because it's...
And a Dufresne.
It's... Andy was here. Yeah, because it's a happy ending movie. I mean, those other ones are a little dreary.
Shawshank is definitely in my own personal top 10. I mean, it's one of those movies where if it's on cable, I'm watching it no matter what. Like I've probably watched it 100 times on TBS or TNT, and not mad about it at any time. Like I don't care if I'm watching it for 2.5 hours because of commercials. It's just a great movie.
But like cinema masterpiece, like I think I put Godfather Part 2 above that.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the Godfather series. 3 is a joke.
Yeah.
But like I've put Godfather Part 2 ahead of Godfather Part 1 in terms of
by that.
Yeah. I don't know how this list is comprised, whether it's like people voting or what. The next 5 is Forrest Gump, Fight Club, Lord of the Rings, Two Towers, Inception, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back. I mean, having Lord of the Rings, all 3 films in the top 15 movies of all time, I think is like an egregious overstep. Like,
so then it brings like a good topic that I had in my notes was what's a better fantasy sci-fi series? Is Star Wars or Lord of the Rings better? Or two totally different things?
They are two totally different things, and I think you can compare the two of them. I think you have to are you looking at the initial trilogy of Star Wars? Because because there was the second 3 and the third 3 and
Yeah, no, not the 2000s.
Okay. We're gonna ignore those completely. Yeah. Tough. Wow, that's tough. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna go Star Wars. No, I'm gonna go Lord of the Rings.
And why is that?
I'm just thinking of the new Rings of Power TV series. Very, very, very powerful show. Impacted me a lot. I thought it was fucking awesome.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Oh, you're in for a treat. I think, considering that show and the Dragon, what's the Fire of Dragons? House of Dragons came out at the same time?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I personally think that it was way better than House of Dragons. It wasn't even close in my opinion.
And
I think
twice the price.
it did cost twice the price, but a good portion of that cost was effects, and they had to buy the rights. So there was a lot to be there. I think Lord of the Rings. What about you?
So I don't know if I ever told you the story or if the father, Senior, did, but my dad worked on redubbing the original 3 Star Wars. That's what he did.
Oh,
so I've always had a close nostalgia connection to it when they remastered all of them in the like 97, 98, 99, kind of like getting ready for episode 1, 2, 3. Saw all those in the theater. So I probably lean more towards Star Wars as like, it kind of checks off all the boxes, but at the same time, like Return of the King, I think is just like, if that was even a standalone movie, that movie is epic. It's amazing.
It's hard also to compare because the cinematography capabilities, you're talking
30 plus years difference.
Yeah, it's hard. So, yeah, I don't think you can fault anyone for saying Star Wars, and you couldn't fault anyone for saying Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So leave it as a draw.
It's a draw. They're both great. I probably rewatch each of them every year.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a pretty robust movie library.
Yeah.
Those 9 Star Wars movies and 3 Lord of the Rings movies are rewatched often.
I mean, episode 1, we could probably just skip over that.
Why, you don't like Jar Jar?
He's all right. He's all right. I mean, like, Attack of the Clones, all right, like, setting a little story up. Like, to me, you need to just see episode 3.
Listen, I think Empire being on the list and top 15 makes sense.
It's a great movie.
I do really love that movie, and I do love the entire initial trilogy. I think the third 3 that just came out, with centered around the Rey storyline, gets a lot of flack. I actually think they're pretty decent.
Yeah. It's kind of recycled
very much recycled, but like I think it hits on the nostalgia factor, and they're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I love them both equally, I think. Yeah.
But back to this list, though. I mean, again, you notice that they put Shawshank 1. Could it be that putting Schindler's List or Pulp Fiction's a little too R-rated to have that be like the number 1 movie of all time? Because I think cinematically, I think Pulp Fiction is flawless. I think it's a great movie.
It's a great film. I love Tarantino. I think he makes very wholly unique films. Mm-hmm. My biggest problem is like the Quarantino fanboys that just like suck his dick everything he does.
Yeah.
It's like, listen, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. It was 45 hours long. Like, I mean, come on, dude. Like, at some point you're just stroking your ego for the 3rd hour and 30 minutes of like fucking a contrived story that's, it was good. I enjoyed it.
It was a little too long. You could have cut 20 minutes in and out of here, but
could have cut an hour from the movie
easily.
Yeah.
But to me, like, and I feel like there's 2 eras, like before and after Kill Bill, like Hateful Eight and Django and Glorious Bastards. They're great movies, but I still feel like the 90s Tarantino is better.
Yeah, I wouldn't say he peaked, but from a storytelling perspective, it felt like he had more to say in his early days. He had more to prove, and a lot of his later stuff is more like an homage to a Hollywood gone by.
Yes, and
which is fine.
Like his magnum opus is Kill Bill.
Yeah, I mean they're his best movies for sure. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm shocked on that top. Even 20. Is there any? I do see it right there. Is there any Scorsese movies? I guess Goodfellas.
Goodfellas at 17. I mean, let's go deep. Better filmmaker, Scorsese or Tarantino?
Yeah, that was one of the things I sent. Again, totally different, but you know what I like about both of them is needle drop, which anybody listening doesn't know that. It's just, music placement in a movie. They both master that. And Goodfellas, I mean, the music's great, and so is in Pulp Fiction.
Goodfellas very much in my top 10. Ray Liotta's performance in that movie is like...
It's his best.
I think about how well he played that role from the young... when they're walking through the club at the Copa or whatever, it's just like
that long shot.
The long shot, yeah. Like that scene is so iconic, and yeah, he was just fucking great. And then the paranoid, cokehead that he was at the end of it.
With the helicopter.
Yeah, it's like he just played the part perfectly. And like, I mean, the supporting cast in that movie is unbelievable too. And that's not taking anything against the cast of any of Tarantino's movies. They're incredible as well. I just think, as an Italian from New Jersey, I have a soft spot for any sort of mafia related film.
And that's where I would lean into at the end is, being Italian from New Jersey, like, Casino and Goodfellas are just, if it's on TV, like, I'm watching it.
Although Casino is a little too long too.
It is long.
Yeah.
I think that's like, I remember having it, my parents had it on VHS. That was a double
tape. Yeah. Titanic style.
Was double tape. Godfather 2, double tape. Titanic. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, Tarantino, and then it's hard. I mean, because then as far as like Scorsese, like I think Wolf of Wall Street, so underrated. I think that movie's epic too.
It's honestly crazy. I feel like, Leo got the makeup call with The Revenant getting the Oscar because he should have won for Jordan Belfort because his portrayal of that character was unreal. And honestly, the fact that Wolf of Wall Street's not even in the top 20, that's pretty crazy. I'm also like, I don't know what we're basing this list on because there's no Everything Everywhere All at Once in the top fucking 40 here. And I think without question, it's one of my favorite movies of all time.
Parasite right there. So they are taking into account newer films.
Parasite was incredible as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, such a wildly unique story, something that I never for one fucking second saw coming. Mm-hmm. That's in my top 10 also. I mean, Everything Everywhere All at Once is a profoundly wonderful movie. Mm-hmm. I think it's so different from anything I've ever watched, and I felt sort of a similar way to Parasite. And just filmmakers who do things differently and creatively from what we see in the mundane sort of cinema, I like. And
it's like a dying breed. I mean, like nothing against Michael Bay, but it's like all movies now are like the ADD style. It's like change shot. It's like 5 seconds, like long shots, like we just talked about with Goodfellas, like of the whole just walking through the kitchen of the Copacabana. Like,
well, speaking of long shots, what was it? 1917, one long continuous shot for the entirety of the film. I mean, it takes.
Birdman was like that too.
Oh, Birdman was like that too. Yeah. I think Michael Keaton is incredible in that. I didn't really love the movie.
It was okay.
It was okay.
I'll see it again, but yeah, Michael Keaton's also very underrated. I hope he has like a, resurgence of his career.
He already has since Birdman. He's been in a ton of shit. The Spider-Man movie, and
now he's gonna be Batman again.
Yeah, I know, for like 5 minutes, I think. Right?
I'm sure. Yeah, I'm sure it's a cameo.
Yeah, I mean that brings up the whole can of worms of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the DC Cinematic Universe. Are they movies? Well, I listen. I love Marty Scorsese. That was some bullshit. Like what?
A low blow.
Yeah. What Marvel has done for the movie industry as a whole, in essence, has kept it alive. Like movie theaters solely exist because of Marvel movies.
Yeah, they couldn't just survive on the Cannes Film Festival or what's the one, Sundance. Like you can't just have. I love art movies, but you wouldn't survive. And without the blockbusters, you can't exist. Like how are you going to put your movies out?
Exactly. Yeah. And like I got to be honest, I had this conversation with my dad all the time because pre-COVID, we used to go to the movies like once a week. We would go see whatever was out. We would just see a movie. It'd be like a Father Sunday. We would go catch a film. And it was always like, a marginally expensive experience. And the movie theater by our house is shit. It's gone to ruin.
It's about the one in Wayne.
Yeah. It's horrible. Even though they've like recently updated in the last 5 years, it's still just shitty. And like the movie going experience is no longer fun. It's no longer enjoyable. And if you're going to go spend $65 to see a fucking movie between 2 tickets, a popcorn, and 2 drinks, it's like, I'd rather watch it at home.
Yeah.
Like there's just no, I would rather pay $50 to watch a movie the day it comes out at home on my fucking big screen than go to the movies.
Well, weren't they doing that for a bit where it's like.
Only really during COVID.
During COVID where it was like $30-something and seeing it the same drop.
Yeah, I watched a couple movies like that during COVID. They're all slipping my mind now. I'm okay with that. $29.99 to watch a movie the day it comes out. I'm totally cool with that. I don't mind that at all.
But do you own it or it's still like...
No. It's a straight rental. Straight rental. Yeah. I had an interesting experience because I'm going to... Man, this is a terrible admission. I own over 200 movies on Apple, which is gross. It's like fucking $5,000.
Saves his shelf space.
It does. It does save shelf space for sure. Tongue twister.
Yeah.
So I own a lot. But like a few years ago, I noticed that a few movies that I had purchased through Apple were not in my library anymore. And I was like, well, what the hell is that about? So I messaged Apple, and then, there comes into this very peculiar relationship with how movies are now on streaming and stuff. They gave them back to me, whether they were allowed to or not, or what the process was, I don't know. But yeah, real weird.
So is the art of owning, because now I think you get like 4K Blu-ray, like, is that art truly dead, like physically owning a movie?
I don't think it's dead. I don't. I think, when you look at PlayStation and Xbox, which are developing, new hardware systems for gaming that all include physical discs, I don't think that it will die. It will become less and less. It will only die when the market for them dies, when people stop paying for them.
And there's always a niche like video file. Again, don't want to go down this road, but streaming's great, but if you have a 4K Blu-ray, it's it's uncompressed, it's still not the same. So if you have the gaudy setup, then have at it.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I have a sickness where I will basically watch any romantic comedy ever, and I've started going through like some old ones that I think are like probably some of the best movies of all time, which are just like an egregious statement. I watched a hilarious year 2000 movie this week called Boys and Girls with Freddie Prinze Jr. And I forget the actress's name. It's like 90s.
Is it Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No. That's his wife.
Yeah.
No.
Sarah Michelle Gellar.
90s rom-coms, they were it. Like, the movie was so predictable and safe, but also fantastic. And I think there's like a lost art of rom-coms nowadays because like the stories are just getting very convoluted and out there. One of my favorites of all time is 500 Days of Summer. I don't know if you like that.
Still have not seen it.
What?
See it, I know.
What?
You got to give me like the Rick homework list.
Oh my God! Did you watch Everything Everywhere All at Once yet?
Still not. I watched Smile. I wanted to have Smile before we came to this.
Oh man, Rick.
Life's tough, bro.
I know that dad life. You don't have that. You get the free hours. You want to take a nap. I get it. Jeez. Okay. I loved Smile. I thought from a horror perspective, they ticked all of the boxes. It was creepy enough and it had enough jump scares and the story was developed enough that I think it was a perfect horror movie.
Yeah, definitely with the jump scares and the audio, I felt it. Now go watch the Naomi Watts Ring again. It's like to the T, like very similar format.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen The Ring in 20 years, but
yeah. Interesting about The Ring is they use like a blue filter the whole time through the movie, so it gives you that dreary thing. It's in Seattle, but as far as like audio building up, scene changes, like that's exactly what Smile did. So really, like,
I really liked it. I'm glad you liked it as well because I was like, it was a surprisingly good movie because a lot of critically acclaimed horror movies lately, like X, did you see X?
Yeah.
I thought it was good. It wasn't anything.
Didn't scare me like Smile did. Smile scary.
Yes, yeah, it was freaky.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like being like, oh shit, like didn't expect that,
Like even just like very subtle, like the scene where the girl that spoiler that like committed suicide in the beginning of the movie was like over by her like kitchen in the dark, like that was creepy, very like nightmarish.
Yeah. It was just fucking really well done. If you haven't seen Smile yet, go watch Smile. It was fucking really good. And probably one of my favorite movies I've recently watched. I saw Cha Cha Real Smooth. It's an Apple TV movie. I don't know if you saw that.
I've seen the ads for it, yeah.
So the kid who made the movie, and he's a kid, I think he's like, I don't know, early 20s. He wrote, directed, and starred in this movie. And it's hard to call it a romantic comedy because it's like it straddles that 500 Days of Summer comedy, dramedy kind of thing where it's like you're laughing, but it's also like fucked up, but like really good. I mean, I don't know how old this kid is, 25, 26 years old. An amazing film. I'm not exaggerating. I've watched it probably 4 times, and every time I watch it, I am marveled at this kid's ability to tell a story.
So is it nostalgic to the 90s, early 2000s rom-com, or it's like
no
a new spin on it?
It's a new spin on it. Yeah, it's like it's hard to talk about without giving away the whole movie, but he tells a grown-up story from a kid's perspective, and the way that like you can go through heavy shit at a young age in life. You could be in your early 20s and deal with like some pretty heavy fucked up shit. Yeah. And he does in this movie, but he tells the story like a person who's mature beyond his years. And I think just the emotions he's able to evoke throughout this film are just like really impressive. I was truly blown away by the film. I really, really loved it. Yeah, really good.
list.
Put it on the list because you obviously didn't watch anything that we talked about.
I digress. So, just about like deciphering what a rom-com is like in the 90s, 2000s, like, would you say Can't Hardly Wait has an aspect of rom-com at the end of it, though? Because the underlying, even though it's a party movie, the story is that the main character really wants to get with Jennifer Love Hewitt and lands at the end. So, is that a rom-com?
So, Can't Hardly Wait is a rom-com.
It is.
Movie came out when we were in high school, probably junior high.
Yeah.
I love that movie. One of my favorites. It's. I know it's like, you look at it, it's like, oh, this creepy kid's like chasing after this girl, like who doesn't want him or whatever. I think it's really good. Yeah, I mean, it's a weirdly happy ending. It's I think because it's from the 90s, like it's there's going to be hard for a 90s movie me not to love.
Yeah.
But yeah, for sure it's a rom-com. Have you ever seen the movie About Time?
I think so.
Jesus, some movie expert you are, Rick.
Hit me. I could bring that top list up. I'll knock those all.
This is not okay. Fine, we can go through the list, but I'm going through my own list. About Time, one of my favorite rom-coms of all time. Just incredible. Let's go through the top 250 then. Okay, we left off on Star Wars Empire Strikes Back. 16 through 20 is The Matrix.
Yep.
Goodfellas, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, Seven, and Seven Samurai. Can't say I ever saw Seven Samurai.
Oh. Cuckoo's Nest, have you seen that?
Yes.
Great movie.
21 through 25. I think these are all really good. It's a Wonderful Life, Silence of the Lambs, Saving Private Ryan, City of God, Interstellar.
I haven't seen City of God yet. That's been on my list.
I gotta be honest. You could have told me that movie was from 1982, and then now looking at it and it says 2002, I'm shocked. Really fucked up movie. Very good. What was the movie? Like, it's not even on this list, and it should be Lahain, whatever that was.
Yeah, I mean that Instagram page that we won't drop the name of, it's fucking good movies.
Yeah,
they really sweat that one hard.
I think maybe it's just like a version
beautifully.
It's a wonderfully cinematic movie. The pacing of it is fantastic. I think it's hard for me to get into foreign language films. Although
it's all in French.
Yeah. Okay. And then although like Cinema Paradiso is probably my second favorite movie of all time.
I watched that. I took a film appreciation class in college. I made to watch Cinema Paradiso.
Yeah, I mean, any movie scored by Ennio Morricone is bound to tug at the heartstrings. That movie is, I mean, did it win the Oscar for Best Foreign Film?
I'm not sure.
Maybe? I don't know. I might have made that up. So Interstellar also, one of the movies I watch I probably watch it 50 times a year.
Hates that movie. Hates it. The whole
Melissa,
when they get to the planet where they're too close to the black hole.
Oh yeah.
And yeah, the whole space-time continuum thing, and as far as that, time is the relativity that really like bugs her out. That's not that it's a theory. I mean, I guess
it's real.
It's real. We just have never experienced it. That bugged her out when they came back, and he had been there for like 23 years.
Yeah,
really
I get it.
Bugged her out, but I think that's a great movie.
I love it. I literally watch it. I'm not exaggerating. 50 times a year.
Chris Nolan is amazing.
He doesn't miss. Next up, Life is Beautiful, wonderfully traumatic film.
Mm-hmm.
Green Mile, Star Wars. This looks like A New Hope. Yeah, New Hope. Terminator 2 and Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
Great movie in the top 30. I don't know. Terminator 2 Judgment Day, top 30 best films of all time. Not even in my top.
No, probably just for its effects. I mean, it was a standout James Cameron movie.
Yeah, I don't know. Parasite, which is on the next 5.
The newest movie.
Is 34, and I think it completely shits on Terminator 2. Like, it's not even close.
Again, I bet you this list is based on, maybe timeline impact. Like, Terminator 2 maybe was an impactful movie at the time.
Yeah, maybe. Spirited Away, which is a cartoon. Don't know what that is. The Pianist, fucking fucked up movie. Psycho, great movie. Mm-hmm. Parasite.
The original one, right?
The original, yeah. The Professional, amazing movie. What was the guy's name? And Natalie Portman? I forget his name.
Yeah, that was like Natalie Portman's first movie.
Yeah, she was like 12.
And Gary Oldman's in that.
Gary Oldman. Is he?
Yeah.
Gary Oldman. Wow. He's been in every... He's been in fucking everything. Holy shit. 30 36 through 40, Lion King. Probably my favorite Disney movie of all time.
So that's a good topic to jump into, like Disney movies that are worthy of being on the top list, like maybe Frozen. Like no, for like a new era though. You don't think Frozen was?
Kids love Frozen. I don't love Frozen.
It's okay. That's what I'm saying. For the new era, like you probably
like, dude. I'll tell you right now. Fucking loved Coco. Fucking loved.
Coco's great.
Cried a good tear during Coco. Encanto's amazing.
Great movie.
Ratatouille's amazing. All these movies are great.
But the golden era of the '90s.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got Aladdin.
Aladdin, yeah.
Yeah, that era was, it was different.
It was different.
Deck of cards there.
Yeah, and I also don't understand the need or the desire to remake all those movies as live action. I could do without it. I don't need it.
Yeah, they're doing Little Mermaid's coming up soon, and they're doing it.
They did Lion King. They did Aladdin. They're doing Little Mermaid. Why? The cartoons are fine.
Money.
My nieces and nephews still watch The Lion King. They still watch Aladdin. They love the fucking Little Mermaid.
Snow White is like 90 years old.
Yeah, I don't know why it all needs to be remade. Gladiator. Well, yeah, money. Unbelievable film.
Yeah, that's now is that Ridley Scott or that's Tony Scott? That's Ridley Scott, right?
Ridley.
Yeah. He's the alien. He's Alien. I mean, he's got a great resume. One of my favorite movies that Melissa and I watch once a year. We used to watch when we started dating was Man on Fire.
Oh, what a movie! What a movie!
So good too. Like there's one scene where Denzel Washington is like going somewhere to like fuck shit up, like, or even like when she gets kidnapped, like. They're in there and like the church bells are going off and like the pigeons are flying away, like focusing on little things and like the cars are coming up, like, like really setting the tone, like something bad is like
feel
in the back.
It's the pacing. Yeah, he's good at that.
Yeah, really Scott's great with that.
I think it's funny how good Denzel is in a role where like that movie and then the Equalizer films, like him on a mission to fuck shit up, it's unrivaled. I mean, better than Liam Neeson. Craps on Liam. I know I have a certain set of skill.
Yeah, I mean the first one was good. I didn't see any of the other
take-ins, yeah.
But you still can't forget about. I mean, well, Denzel's had a great career. I mean, like Philadelphia definitely put him on the map, but can't forget about Training Day. Like him seeing him as as a villain.
Easily his best role. Easily.
He won the Oscar for that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did he win it for American Gangster? Can't remember.
I don't think he won for American. I mean,
great movie.
I think, Training Day.
Training Day is fucked up. American History X, The Departed, definitely in my top 10. Yep. The Usual Suspects. Okay. 41, a personal favorite, The Prestige.
I think that's a very underrated movie that Nolan did. That Steve and I would always like watch that all the time. That's a great movie. And at the end, like, there's a line that why can't I think of his name?
Christian Bale.
No, Michael
Caine.
Michael Caine. Where he talks about the difference between like a magician and a wizard. A magician is making things up. A wizard, the magic is real. Like he has some line in there like that. I got to find the quote, but that stuck with me forever. But that movie is great.
Amazing movie. And like again, I know this is a subjective list that we're basing our discussion over. Better than 41.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a top 20 film of all time. Creativity, completely unique story, never been done before.
Why is it? Because, when I talk to people about Nolan movies, they forget about The Prestige. So probably why it's 41 is why it slips out of people's minds. Like there's always Inception, Interstellar, and obviously the Batman movies, and Prestige gets pushed to the back. And even when I see comment sections on, Reddits or whatnot, people are always like, where's the love for The Prestige?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably one of my favorite films of his.
Maybe because of the timepiece. Maybe that could be it.
Could be. People don't love that shit. That's old. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Whiplash, unbelievable. And come on. I mean, Casablanca, number 43. That should be in the top 10 of greatest.
Another very long movie.
It's 17 hours long.
It's crazy for back then that, people were just in the theater for 4 hours.
They would take a break.
Yeah.
Grave of the Fireflies, never seen it. Hikari, never seen it. The Untouchables, 2011.
I've seen parts of it, but yeah.
Never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Charlie Chaplin, Modern Times, never saw it. Once Upon a Time in the West, saw it. Cinema Paradiso, again, 49. This is a top 20 movie of all time. Rear Window, never saw it.
Great movie.
Alien,
The first
51.
Alien. Yeah, and that's talk about a movie that still holds up as scary because like I saw it recently in the past month or two. There's the part where I forget the guy's name in it, but he's trying to find the cat, and the alien. The way the shot is like he's looking at the cat, shining the light on him, and then the camera's pointing behind him. When the alien drops down, there's not a sound.
Yeah,
it makes like that's still like
freaky.
Ridley Scott, hats off to him on that.
Chaplin City Lights, never saw it. Apocalypse Now,
Great movie.
very long.
Yeah, very, very long, but yeah, like those Vietnam movies, though, I think that's still my favorite one. I haven't seen Platoon in a while, but that's also a pretty nitty-gritty movie.
I think
That's what
Apocalypse Now I like better. Yeah. Memento. You ever seen Memento?
That's with Guy Pearce.
Great
where he's got all
fucking movie.
Yeah.
The tattoos and like, holy shit, what a great movie. 55, Django. Good, not great. Maybe a little high for that movie.
Yep.
56, Raiders, Lost Ark. I mean, again, that's a little bit late for
like Raiders and Back to the Future. Like, why is Back to the Future so far
30
up on the
places
list?
ahead?
And they're both like good, feel-good family movies.
Yeah. Well, family, yeah, okay. I agree. I would think personally that Raiders is better than Back to the Future.
Well, different. Anytime, I mean, I feel like Back to the Future is always on some fucking channel every weekend, but the first one's great. Second one, it's kind of a little weird. It's like Biff kind of reminds me of Donald Trump in that one.
Yeah.
The alternate 19.
He's playing like a pre-Donald Trump Trump. I don't know. Indiana Jones to me, I don't know. There's something weird about like the nostalgia aspect of it. Like both those movies were big when we were kids, so it's like I don't know.
Second one was Temple of Doom was a little weird, but like the first and the third one, which is Raiders and Last Crusade, were like very much similar because they brought the Nazi situation back.
Yeah. Another animated film, Wall-E, love.
So that
seems
second animated movie, right?
There was like some weird ones that we didn't know.
American ones. I mean, like Lion King, then this. See, that's strange.
Yeah. I like Wall-E.
Mm-hmm.
The Lives of Others, 2006. Never saw it.
Mm-hmm.
Sunset Boulevard, 1950. Never saw it. Paths of Glory, 1957.
We've never seen Rear Window. You need to do a Hitchcock marathon.
Yeah, that's all right. Yeah, I'm with you on that. 61, The Shining. See, that should be higher.
That's a great movie.
That should be higher. I mean, 61.
Yeah, let's talk about Kubrick. I mean, is that the first Kubrick movie? Is it 61, or we must have missed the Kubrick movie?
I don't think we missed any. What would we have missed?
2001.
Nope.
I feel like it's not.
Space Odyssey?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, didn't pass it. Nope. Yeah, 61 is the first Kubrick movie. Yeah, that's stupid.
But I guess, again, with the vibe I'm getting from this list is that Shining's on there because that hits all the targets of that. This is a very sellable blockbuster movie where 2001 is an acquired taste.
I think this is a bad list. Being that we're a third of the way through, or fourth of the way through, I'm not thinking this is the best list.
There's an agenda.
There is an agenda.
Yeah.
62, The Great Dictator, Chaplin movie.
That's his most famous movie.
Yeah. 63, Avengers Infinity War.
So it's the first Marvel movie.
First Marvel movie.
Not first comic movie because Dark Knight was top 10.
Yeah. And I think there is a distinction between the Nolan movies being quote-unquote comic book movies and Marvel movies, because the Nolan movies are films that happen to center around a protagonist that happens to be a superhero. But they are films.
Yeah, if they were just regular humans, it would still be a great movie.
Right.
Batman, Joker.
They didn't need Batman to be Batman. It could have been any hero character.
Now, how could you say about like the Tim Burton Batmans, though? I mean, that's a little more film noir.
I'm sure they're not even on the list, I bet.
No, but definitely a different vibe of what the new blockbuster Marvel is.
So we've been around long enough that there have been a billion iterations of Batman.
I like the Tim Burton ones a lot. I think they're very much like the cartoon, which is slipping my mind, animated series.
All right, so my favorite Batman is Christian Bale.
Yeah.
My second favorite is probably Michael Keaton.
Yeah,
because that was our
the
childhood.
Tim Burton ones. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I know. There are others that played the role that I don't even remember, like Clooney and Val Kilmer, and I mean, like everyone took a turn in the suit for a while. I think the new one that came out with Robert Pattinson was a great fucking movie.
Very good.
It wasn't a superhero movie. It was a detective movie, and I think when you can tell a story that is like a character that everyone knows, and do it in a different way,
And very dark, too.
and very dark, it
Where
hits.
The last several ones, yeah, like the George Clooney, the Val Kilmer, and the Ben Affleck ones are, very cookie cutter.
And and to be fair, they're terrible movies.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that Ben Affleck played Batman in was trash, garbage, throwaway movies that shouldn't have existed.
This is so weird. Like, I know The Flash is coming out, so you have that. You have the Robert Pattinson one, and now there's still the Joker. I mean, like, I know there's like this whole multiverse thing, but like, how many Batman movies can be going on simultaneously? I'm a little bothered by that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a little bit ridiculous. The Joker movie, however,
Was so good, and that's what's keeping it on pace. Yeah.
I'm curious what this second iteration is going to be like. Harley
Musical. With Lady Gaga.
Oh,
You didn't know this?
did not know that.
Oh, yeah. It's a musical. I mean, maybe there'll be like small snippets of musical, but it was advertised a musical, and Lady Gaga's Harley Quinn. That's why she's casted for it. Come on.
Wow. Okay, didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm okay. A lot of people were like, "Oh, Lady Gaga."
Give it a shot.
Did you see A Star Is Born?
Yeah.
One of the most heartbreaking movies. I cried. I wept
It's
in
a
the
remake.
movie.
Yeah.
Thanks, Rick. I know.
Okay.
One of us actually watches movies that the other one sees.
Just for the
Chris
people out
Christopherson, I remember. I watched that movie by myself in the movie theater, and whenever year it came out, and I was
there. Weeped.
I wept, not weeped. I was sitting next to like these three women. Somehow I was sat between four women in their 50s. So I was like the third of four in a row.
Mm-hmm.
I started crying, and the woman next to me like handed me a tissue. It was pretty hilarious. But I was like, it was the only time in my life I was like, I think I might be living in the Truman Show, because how does this happen in real life?
Yeah, I mean, without spoiling the movie, I mean, the ending was sad. How that the agent's like, yeah,
Incredible.
you're ruining everything, and you really felt.
Oh
for
man,
Bradley Cooper.
unbelievable. But yeah, I'm interested in seeing the second one, and
And she's very talented. Like, she's an American Horror Story. Like, she is. I mean, she's not the top tier actress, but she could act.
she can act.
Absolutely.
Yeah, New York girl, New Jersey girl, New Jersey girl,
New York.
New York girl.
Yeah.
Like it. Aliens 5065.
The second one was okay. It's
I don't
not
even
the
know
first
it's in
one.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse cartoon. Loved it.
Very beautifully done movie. That is.
But like top
Maybe it could go even a little.
I don't know.
ranking.
top 50 of all time. I don't know. I personally am biased in that I don't think an animated movie should be in the top 50 movies of all time.
Fair enough.
We got 100.
So Lion King is way too far.
Yeah. I don't think there should be any animated movies in the top 50. American Beauty, incredible. Doctor Strangelove, very first.
Only seen parts of it.
Is this the first? Yeah. I'm thinking of something else.
No.
I'm thinking of.
Doctor Strangelove is not Doctor Strange.
No, I know. That's not what I was thinking of. Is Doctor Strangelove a James Bond movie?
No.
No, yeah, that's what I was thinking of. What am I thinking of?
Is it from Russia with Love?
Maybe. I'm not sure. The Dark Knight Rises, 69. Old Boy, 70. Is this the one with... Oh, no, this is the Korean version. So there was a movie with... who plays Thanos? What's his name? Josh Brolin.
Yeah.
There's a movie with... I thought it was called Old Boy. With Josh Brolin. And Elizabeth Olsen. I thought it was called Old Boy.
It's interesting with the two of them because they were in the Marvel movies.
The most fucked up movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
When does it come out?
10 years ago. It's not new, it's not old. It snuck out somewhere in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is fucked. I can't describe the movie without giving the entire plot away. If you watch it, I'm sorry. It is fucked. The whole movie goes along. You think it's one.
Define fucked. Like,
I cannot.
Messed up movie?
Oh, yeah, it's messed up. Oh, so messed up. And the whole movie goes along, and you think it's one kind of movie. And you're like, this is, oh, wow, I can't believe this is so fucked up. Like, blah, blah, blah. Wow, this is crazy. And then at the end of the movie, the last 25, 35 minutes, there is a turn that happens in this movie that I was stunned and shocked by.
Put it on my homework list.
I can't even recommend it.
To change to a subject of fucked up movies, last night I couldn't sleep and I was thinking of adding this topic of fucked up movies. Like I said earlier in the podcast, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, one of my favorite movies, and Terry Gilliam directed that. His videography of movies he's done. Have you ever heard of The Imaginarium of Dr. Parnassus?
Yeah. Who was
That was Heath Ledger's final movie. He actually died in the movie, and the way they changed the script was he transformed 3 times in the movie, and he became Johnny Depp, he became Jude Law, and he became Colin Farrell. His character changed, but really it was because he died. Wild, weird movie, but there's another Gilliam movie called Tideland. Put that on your list. Super fucked up.
Oh, okay.
So yeah. I have mine that you gave me. You put Tideland on your list.
Deal.
With Jeff Bridges.
Oh, love Jeff Bridges.
Yeah. Well,
you don't love Jeff Bridges?
He's a heroin addict in this, so it's rough. Yeah.
Well, that reminds me of what's the movie?
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, great fucking movie. Fucked up movie.
Yeah, the end is
dark.
Very bad.
Dark, very bad. Inglourious Bastards, Amadeus, Coco, Toy Story, Joker. Great. This is where I think this is crazy. Braveheart, 76. That's a top 20 movie of all time. That is a cinematic masterpiece.
Mel Gibson, one of his best movies ever did.
Easily, yeah. The Boat, never saw it. Avengers Endgame, great. Princess Mononoke, don't know what that is. Once Upon a Time in America, I don't think I saw that. Okay, another terrible ranking. 81 for Good Will Hunting.
That's wrong.
That's wrong. That is flat wrong. Your Name, another cartoon, don't know it. Singing in the Rain, okay, fine. Gene Kelly could be higher. 3 Idiots, don't know what that is. Literally never heard of it. It's in, I don't know what that is. I lied. 85, Requiem for a Dream. Great fucking movie.
Surprised it even, I mean, again, that's a dark movie, but at least it's appreciated. It is filmed very good. The scenes where the mother who was on amphetamines and like Fridge is coming after, like, yeah, very, if you wanted to feel the downfall of drugs and how bad it is, they really visualize it very well in that movie.
They make it uncomfortable to watch.
Oh, yeah.
You're crawling out of your skin to not watch the movie anymore.
Yeah, everyone's like, do you want to watch that again? I mean, I would probably watch it one more time in my life, but it's bad.
I agree. It's one of those movies. There are some movies that are
scare you straight,
or they're so good and in their horrificness that you never need to watch them again.
We talked about a movie recently, so that we never need to watch it again. I know.
I'm losing it. Yeah.
Recently, but yeah, Requiem's on that list.
1963's High and Low. Don't know it. Toy Story 3, 87. Okay.
That ending, I'll tell you what, I
but now they're making a Toy Story 6. So like, what? Come on.
Which are you all caught up on them? Like it's over. What are we still following? Like
it's stupid. Yeah. Yeah. At the end of 3, I thought for sure. I mean, I definitely was choked up and crying
when he gave the toys away.
Yeah, it was absurd. Yeah. Well, and then like they were going through like the fire pit thing or whatever.
You have nieces and nephews. I mean, have you watched it recently?
I have not 3. They've watched 1. They may have watched 4. They got weird tastes. They love Frozen. We watch Encanto all the time. Yeah, Raya, The Last Dragon. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. I haven't seen it in a while. Capernaum. Don't know what that is. Star Wars Return of the Jedi, 2001 A Space Odyssey, 90.
No good.
Let me tell you about a movie that's not going to be in the top 100, and that's where we're going to stop on this list.
Yeah.
I forget what it's called. It's with it's the drinking movie in Belgium.
Yeah, the villain from Casino Royale.
Yeah, what the heck's his name? Oh my god, I got to click this movie because he's in this.
There's no James Dean movies on this top 100 list either.
No, there's not. Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
The name of the movie is Another Round. Did you see it?
I've not, but I've seen clips of the trailers of it. So they're working on that. They keep a 0.5 BAC consistently, and they're all teachers, right?
Yeah, they're teachers at like university, which I think I don't know if they're high school kids or they're college kids. It's in the Netherlands or some European country. I don't remember.
High school. Oh yeah.
Wonderful film. Not even in the top 100, which I think is insane.
Tango in Paris wasn't on the list. You didn't see that, right?
No.
Okay.
91, Eternal Sunshine. Love. definitely within the top 100. I think that's accurate. Reservoir Dogs could be higher.
Yeah.
That's a top 50 movie of all time.
If not, 50 or 75, but where is it right now?
92.
Okay.
93, Come and See. No idea what that is. 94, The Hunt with Mads Mikkelsen, but I don't know what this is. Never saw it. Citizen Kane, 95. Obviously, I think that needs to be a top 50 movie of all time.
That's wild because I remember in my music appreciation class in college.
Movie or music?
I actually took a music and a movie
Okay.
class. I did both. Citizen Kane on other lists is usually ranked the number one movie of all time.
Yeah, I mean, it should be easily be in the top 50, let alone top
there's
20.
Only a few movies that are like 100 on Rotten Tomatoes, like Wizard of Oz, like Gone with the Wind.
And neither of those are in the top 250 of this list.
And Citizen Kane is. I think again, this is a popularity contest list that lost my credit. Yeah, Citizen Kane is a top 25 movie.
Yeah. 96 is 1931's Fritz Lang. Never saw it. Okay, 97, Lawrence of Arabia. That movie needs to be in the top 20 of all time. It was the very first epic film. Like
bias of old movies on this list.
North by Northwest, Ikiru, and Vertigo. Okay.
Vertigo and Rear Window. I think.
Rear Window.
Both of them. Yeah, they're great Hitchcock.
Couple notables. I'll just scroll through. 102, Amelie. Number 105, Full Metal Jacket. Number 106, Scarface. That's a top 25 movie.
Full Metal Jacket is amazing Kubrick movie.
107, Hamilton. That's stupid. That's a Broadway play. Shouldn't be on the top fucking 250 movies of all time.
The streamed version?
Yes.
No, that's not a movie.
112, Up. Love it. 113, Top Gun Maverick. Let me say unequivocally, Top Gun Maverick is the best action movie I've ever seen.
In recent time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Easily.
I agree with you on that.
116, Taxi Driver. Like, this needs to be so much higher. Stupid. Die Hard, LA Confidential, Snatch. We're actually finally getting into some good movies.
Yeah, these are movies that we could swap out some of the last 25.
Indiana Jones, Last Crusade should be higher. 1917. I mean, it won Oscar Best Picture. How it's the 123rd best movie of all time.
Too many movies.
This is a dumb list. Batman Begins. Wolf of Wall Street, Green Book, Casino, Truman Show, Pan's Labyrinth, There Will Be Blood. Ooh, that was a movie.
You stole my milkshake.
The Sixth Sense, Shutter Island, A Beautiful Mind, Jurassic Park, Kill Bill Volume 1, 150th movie of all time.
That is a disgrace.
The Great Escape. I mean, that's a top 25 movie of all time.
So really, we should just restart the list at 100.
Yeah.
And maybe we could...
I mean, No Country for Old Men, 148. Fucking amazing. Didn't that win the Oscar?
That's the best movie he's ever done.
Yeah, crazy. Elephant Man, Raging Bull, V for Vendetta. This is a
Vendetta is another one I haven't seen in a while. It's,
Prisoners.
Mr. Smith from The Matrix.
Yeah, 168, Prisoners. That movie fucked. Good. So fucked.
So what's your take on the end of that? Did they hear the whistle? Did Jake Gyllenhaal hear the whistle?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like to think that too.
Yeah. Klaus, 178. I actually loved Klaus. I cried at Klaus. Klaus teared me up.
I've seen Klaus.
Watch it. It's a Christmas movie. Okay. 179, Before Sunrise. Have you seen these three films? Before Sunrise, After Sunset, Before Sunrise, Before Sunset, and After Sunrise. I don't know. There's three films. It's Richard Linklater, I believe. Ethan Hawke. Yeah, Richard Linklater. Ethan Hawke and Julie Delpy, they play the same characters in three different films at three different stages in their lives. So the first movie was like the early 1990s. The second movie was like late 1990s, early 2000s. And the third film was like, mid 2010s. Fucking wonderful. I actually need to tell you.
So the trilogy, different times. No, I didn't see the trailer. You have some of the trailer on those.
He also did Boyhood. If you recall,
Boyhood, I know.
They filmed that movie over
so that's the same director.
Same director.
Oh, then I'm sure they're amazing.
Okay. Before Sunset, Before Sunrise.
That's a great movie. That should be on the list.
Dazed and Confused.
Yes.
So Before Sunset, Before Sunrise, and the third one is, this is great for a podcast as I'm scrolling a list, Before Midnight.
Okay.
Three phenomenal films. If you haven't seen them, they're tremendously wonderful.
Long?
They're adequately long. Let's see. Ben-Hur, Gone Girl, 12 Years a Slave. Yeah.
That's a classic movie.
Yeah, Hacksaw Ridge, Mad Max, Fury Road. That's an interesting. I mean, 202, Monsters Inc. Come on.
That movie's overrated.
Really?
Mad Max.
Loved it.
I'm more nostalgic. I like the original.
Let's go with why this fucking list is so stupid. The 211th best movie of all time on this list, Rocky. That's a top 20 film of all time.
Yeah, I would like.
Is it the greatest sports movie ever?
We need to. Well, I mean, Rudy's pretty good too.
Is it better than Rudy?
No,
it's better than Rudy.
It's
Rocky is better than Rudy.
But the end of Rudy, though, when he comes down the field, that's
big fucking deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
I cry like a boy.
Rocky's better.
Yes.
Thank you.
But I'll tell you what, I like Rocky 4 better.
It's a more exciting film.
Okay,
it's not a better movie.
Agreed.
There you go. Okay, so that is a deep dive into the top 250 of IMDb's movies of all time. I think it's horrible. I would like to go through my list of purchased movies because I've got a billion of them, and I want to talk about some of my favorites. We discussed About Time, best rom-com I think ever. Not in the top 250 of IMDb's, one of my favorites of all time, Almost Famous. How is that movie not in the top 250 best movies of all time? Cameron Crowe. Fun story, Cameron. If you're listening to this, please unblock me on Twitter. I don't know why you blocked me. Can't figure it out why. This is a personal plead. Come on the podcast. I'll tell you what I did. And I'm pretty sure this is what it was because I can't figure it out. But he did a very short-lived TV show on Showtime called Roadies or something like that.
Yep.
And I wanted it to give me that feeling that Almost Famous gave me. I was hopeful that the story was going to be...
You set it too high.
Yeah, I set a high foundation. And listen, it got canceled after fucking 4 episodes or 5 episodes. So it's not like I'm the only one that...
It almost didn't get like greenlit at a pilot.
Correct. So long story short, I think I tweeted him saying I wish that this show gave me that feeling that Almost Famous gave me, and I think he blocked me because of it. So you're a bitch, but unblock me and come on the podcast and let's talk about movies. I've got a bunch of the Avengers movies.
So that story is based on, because it's a fake band, obviously, but that was when he was with Led Zeppelin. Was what that was supposed to be.
Oh, right, yeah. But Stillwater, yeah, okay, yeah. Baby Driver, great movie. Really, you never saw Baby Driver? Great little action movie. Begin Again, rom-com. Yeah, I guess you don't like rom. Big Short, great movie.
Oh, great.
Top 250 of all time?
I try to watch that like a couple times a year.
Yeah, okay. It's not on the top 250 of all time. Billy Madison, not on the top 250 of all time. It's probably one of the top 25 comedies of all time.
Yeah, so back to the IMDb list, it's definitely biased because where the Jim Carrey movies or where the Adam Sandler movies, obviously there was Truman Show, but the comedic movies not on there.
Ace Ventura.
Well, that was the topic that I brought to the table. But I'll let you finish your movies, and then we'll get into my topic.
Booksmart, great. Burnt, great.
Yep.
Cinema Paradiso. Charlie Bartlett, great fucking movie.
You know what else did make the list? The A24 horror movies that we've seen.
X?
No, Midsummer and Hereditary.
Oh my God! Yeah, not in the.
They should be in the top. You know, they should be in the top 250.
They should be in the top 50. Oh my God, they're so fucked up. Great movies.
Yeah.
Chef, amazing movie. Love Chef.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy Stupid Love, top 10 rom-com of all time.
That one I've seen.
Dune.
Too early to tell.
Did you like it?
Visually, it was a masterpiece. It is very slow, but I mean, I think Timothée Chalamet is the new Leonardo DiCaprio. Is that harsh to say?
No, I don't think it's harsh. I think that's fair. He's so young. Everything Everywhere All at Once was not on the top 250 of all time. It is
Cleaning House.
It bears repeating. It is, I think, my favorite movie of all time. If you watch that movie and don't like it, that's one of my Desert Island movies for sure. Ford versus Ferrari, awesome movie. The Gentleman, awesome fucking movie. The Goonies, awesome fucking
Josh
movie.
Brolin.
Yeah, Baby Brolin. Her. You ever see it? Spike Jonze?
I've watched, like, you know, on Fandango on YouTube, you could like watch like 10 clips of the movie. I've seen the.
It's a weird movie. I really like it. It's a little dark. It's a little twisted. It's good.
Oh, Joaquin in it, so you know.
Yeah. the child in me, the 90s baby in me, Home Alone. Classic film.
But is it a cinema masterpiece? No.
It's a top 250 movie of all time.
One.
Yeah, Home Alone 1.
Yeah, well, 250, yeah, okay.
Action movies in our last 10 years, some of the best, and not on the top 250 movies of all time. The John Wick trilogy.
I can't.
Those are great fucking action movies. Mm-hmm. They need to be in the top 100 of action movies of all time. If you want to say maybe not in the top 250 of all movies of all time, fine.
Maybe they're just pivoting that action movies now don't compare to, like, I feel like there was a golden era of action movies, and to me, like, that Instagram page that we follow, like, the 90s were a great time for movies.
They were an amazing time for movies. Full stop. Add 2 to the list. Little Big League and Little Giants. Amazing. So good. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Would recommend.
About League of Their Own.
Wonderful. But that was that 90s? That was 90s. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen the movie Like Crazy? It's with Anton Yelchin, R.I.P.
No.
Wonderful little, I wouldn't call it a rom-com. I would call it like a drama-com. I don't know. There needs to be another term for those kind of movies.
Like Punch Drunk Love?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like a, yeah. I don't. It needs another word. Rom-com's not the right distinction.
All right.
Wonderful movie. Edge of Tomorrow, great action movie. Have you seen The Long Shot? Seth Rogen, Charlize Theron.
Where she's the vice president or the president?
Secretary of State.
Close enough.
Fucking hilarious movie.
See close. It looks good.
Go watch it. Fucking hilarious movie. Love Actually, top 10 rom-com of all time. Again, how this movie wasn't in the top 250 of all time. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On.
A24 movie.
A24 movie.
That looks like, I mean, tears. I want to see it put on my list.
I need you to just stay put because I love this movie so much that I spent, I don't know, $30 getting a mini. I mean, he's got some heft to him.
So it was like before the movie, there was like a short, and there was a little series, right?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, I believe it was a short.
But my little Marcel, he sits on my desk. He'll sit here for the rest of the movie. He, I don't know, whatever it is. I'm not sure. The Martian.
Good. I mean, that was definitely a top.
It's a top 100 movie of all time. Great movie. Mm-hmm. There was one of the Matrix movies on there. I forgot about that.
That could have been that could have been a standalone movie. I know they open up the universe with the sequels, but Matrix was fine on its own.
I agree. Interesting conundrum. We didn't even, because none of his movies are on the list. Moonrise Kingdom.
Oh, no Wes Anderson movies.
None.
What? None on the top 250?
Yeah.
What?
I didn't say any, did I? I don't think so.
No Royal Tenenbaums? No
nope.
Life Aquatic?
Nope.
Grand Budapest Hotel? Favorite
that
one.
Was on there. That was like 200 something. Yeah.
Well, that surprised me. Listen, that's a great movie, but I feel like Royal Tenenbaums it should be
easily top 100 movies of all time.
Yeah, that would. If we did a Wes Anderson list, you got to put probably Tenenbaums as one.
Easily.
Yeah.
I have all of the James Bond movies. I didn't see any of them on the list.
Skyfall had to be on the list.
Skyfall, no, wasn't on the list. Wonderful film.
What?
Amazing.
Again, that was
okay.
Just like Dark Knight. That could have been a great standalone film. That was a film.
Yes.
Skyfall.
I'm sorry, not in the top 250 of all time. The Princess Bride.
Great movie.
What are we doing? Not in the top 250. How is that not in the top 250? That's just fucking stupid. That actually infuriates me that it wasn't on there. Okay, personal favorite. The Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Have you seen it?
I've seen parts of it.
Fucking hey, Rick. This is supposed to be a movie episode. You haven't seen half the movies. I'm telling you. It's like, I want to tell you, if you're watching this podcast, listening to this podcast, if you've not seen The Secret Life of Walter Mitty, if you're going through a shitty time in your life and you're like questioning things about your life and what you should do, watch this movie. It will make you feel a lot better about yourself. You're going to really like this movie. Ben Stiller is incredible. I think he directed it, adapted the screenplay or whatever he did for it. Fucking amazing movie.
What's the movie with Scarlett Johansson and Bill Murray? That movie was
Lost in Translation.
Yeah, Lost in Translation.
Not on the list.
Not on the list.
Not on the list.
Wrong. That's another.
Rocket Man. Have you seen Rocket Man?
The Elton John movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have a big problem with the fact that Rami Malek won an Oscar for lip syncing as Freddie Mercury, and fucking Taron Egerton, who really sings as Elton John,
not cool,
didn't even get nominated for an Oscar. That is criminal. That is criminal.
Yeah, I still, as far as for the movie and the way it's shot, I give the edge to the Queen movie. Maybe that's probably why.
I don't.
It shouldn't have been snubbed. I agree Rocketman should not have been snubbed, but
Rocketman is better.
It's a better movie.
Easily better. Not even close. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. Steve Carell, Keira Knightley. Nice little rom-com centered around the end of the world.
Steve Carell's in a lot more rom-coms than you think.
Dan in Real Life. You ever see Dan in Real Life? Great fucking movie. Dan in Real Life. Amazing. Okay, not in the top 250 of all time. I know it's cliche. Everyone hates it. The fucking Social Network.
Well done movie.
Well done movie. It's not my favorite.
You're behind it. Yeah, you know what? Justin Timberlake does a good job as the Napster dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good movie. It's like, how is it not on the list?
This scene, and I've seen a lot where Andrew Garfield like flips the fuck out because his shares got liquidated.
I'm sorry, my Prada's in the cleaner.
Yeah. Like, you better lawyer the
Stranger Than Fiction.
Mm-hmm.
Will Ferrell's first sort of darkish role, serious role.
John C. Reilly do a lot of dark roles.
Listen, I love this movie. I think it's a fantastic movie. It's so quirky and unique, and I don't think it gets enough love. Speaking of love, Stuck in Love, really good little rom-com. Love it. Big fan.
What is your ratio of rom-coms on this to everything else?
2-1, 3-1, 4-1, 5-1, 6-1, 7-1. No, I'm just kidding. The Terminal.
Terminal. Good movie.
Amazing movie.
Yeah.
Amazing movie.
Mm-hmm.
This Is Where I Leave You. Really good movie. It's not like I don't know. What would you call these? Just like run-of-the-mill life stories about like families and tragedies and life. And is that a rom-com? It's not like a guy meets girl, there's a meet cute, there's like a they get together at the end kind of thing.
Its own category.
Yeah, what would you call it? I don't know. We got to come up with something.
Was Little Miss Sunshine on the list?
Nope. Should have definitely been on it. The Town wasn't on the top 250 of all time. Epic movie.
That is, yeah. Talk about like action movies that are like good from like this recent era. That's one of them.
The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. The new Pedro Pascal.
I want to see that. You know, it's so funny. I see the memes all the
I
time.
know. Yeah.
Gifs of Nicolas Cage like in the car looking over.
They're on drugs.
Like, oh, that's why.
They're on drugs. The movie. Listen. On paper, this should be a fucking dumb movie.
But it's because it's Nicolas Cage.
He is so good in this movie, and it reminds me of another movie he's so good in that you definitely haven't seen called Pig.
It's on my list to see. Yeah, it's a recent movie though.
It's 4 years old. It's not that new.
Okay.
He did one Pig and then followed up with The Massive Weight.
It's good.
2 for 2. He killed it. Both of these films. He like gets so much shit for like being like a cartoonish version of himself
Buying
as an
$4 million Tyrannosaurus.
Yeah, whatever. But that was like 30 years ago. Fucking amazing.
His catalog of movies in the 90s. I mean, like to me, like
Con Air.
Con Air. I quote Con Air probably 10 times a week. That movie is fucking.
Put the bunny down. I mean, Varsity Blues. That was a movie when we were kids. That was like
Religiously watch that.
Oh my god, it was great.
I feel like it really stemmed like Blue Mountain State. Like it definitely was that.
What a great show! What a
Do
great
show
show.
episode.
Yeah, we should.
Yep.
Watchmen. I know it's an adaptation of a comic book, but great movie.
Very dark.
Okay, The Way. I'm sure you've not seen this movie. It's Martin Sheen. The great movie. It's a drama. It's about a father and a son. I promise if you watch this movie, you'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll love it, and you'll want to go for a walk. The Way Back, great little rom-com period piece. What If, another rom-com. Wolf of Wall Street, we talked about.
So your movie at the very end is 2012.
Love 2012, great movie. 500 Days of Summer. Yesterday. Did you see Yesterday?
Oh, that is, yes, I've seen it, where the Beatles don't exist.
Yeah, cool movie. Really
Great
unique.
concept, yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Really good. And 1917.
You know what else was Slumdog Millionaire on that?
No.
Dude, fuck that list. That's what I have to say.
IMDb. Well, to be fair, Rick, you're the one that said we should base our discussion off of the IMDb top 20.
No, it's good. It's better if the list sucks, because if it was good, it'd be like, it's great, and then there's nothing to talk about.
That's true. It was not a good list, and
We got to find a better list.
We got to find a better list next time for sure.
So one thing we kind of dabbled into, because you brought up Billy Madison, who's got the better catalog of movies, or is a better actor? So that's a two-part question. Adam Sandler versus Jim Carrey. That's good.
I have an unpopular opinion.
Okay.
I don't like Jim Carrey as a human being.
That's fine.
Okay. We're not going to get into the specifics of why. Me and you could talk about it after. He's just a shitbag.
Okay.
That being said, our childhood was dominated by his. Well, yeah. I think he was in more movies than Adam Sandler, right?
Well, the problem is Adam Sandler with the Netflix contract and everything. He's really ramped up movies later in his career, which are dog shit. But yeah,
they're not all bad. Hustle.
Oh no, not the serious movies like Uncut Gems, great movie.
Oh yeah,
I'm talking about like Blended and Jack and Jill.
Oh god, but those are not even Netflix movies; those pre-Netflix.
But even he's doing like some Western that like.
Yeah.
Okay, so then let's just keep it to the 90s, early 2000s.
Okay,
both of them.
Who has the better film set in the 90s to 2000s? Adam Sandler.
I'm going Jim Carrey.
Why? Based on what movie? Like, what pushes it towards him for you?
Like, as far as, like, superstar, I'm like, yeah, like, Billy Madison, Happy Gilmore are great movies, but...
Big Daddy.
Like, okay. I forgot about that one. But then, like, Little Nicky, but, like, Ace Ventura, and then, like, The Mess. So there was a period where, like, Jim Carrey was walking on water.
Yeah. I think that's probably... I don't know. Yeah.
You got to think about it.
The Grinch?
I've been thinking...
The Grinch?
Grinch was a little later on. I mean, that's a little later on. I'm talking...
Yeah,
his 90s era was impeccable.
I think when you ask who's the better actor, that's a really loaded question.
Yeah, especially with Uncut Gems, like you maybe. But then there was Punch Drunk Love. He was talented in that, but Uncut Gems really showed his true acting side. But
I think he was better in Hustle. Honestly, I know it's like a completely different movie.
I haven't seen it.
Oh God, what else is new? Reoccurring thing with the podcast.
That's what isn't Rick seen, but. I think it's a hard tie to really pick one over the other. Both, but I think as far as who's like more animated comedy wise, you got to go Jim.
Yeah, I mean, I think like in terms of range as an actor and like their ability to play different characters, Jim Carrey has got no limit.
Truman Show in that era when he was doing all like slapstick shit.
He has no limit to his range. I mean, when you think about The Mask, when you think about fucking The Grinch, all the movies where he's playing some absurd character. He could do that. You could put Jim Carrey in any of Adam Sandler roles. You could not put Adam Sandler in a few of Jim Carrey's roles.
True. I mean,
like Adam Sandler could have been fucking Ace Ventura, but he couldn't have been the Grinch.
No.
Yeah. So I think that you got to give it to.
And apparently,
Carrey.
I haven't seen him, but not that he had to resurge his career, but apparently he's been great in the Sonic movies.
Yeah, I mean, I've not seen them. I've heard good things, but yeah.
Yeah, it's Dr. Robotnik.
Not a fan.
Yeah, so I don't know what are we looking at right now? About an hour?
Yeah, we're a little bit about an hour in.
Do we want to get now that I've had 2 beers? I'm not saying I'm a little tips, but get a little teary eyed. I did have a topic that may only be more geared towards our generation. Now that we're in our late 30s, we're knocking on 40 more than 35.
It's the same distance, but yeah. I'm 37. That's 2 to 35 and 3 to 40. So,
shut the fuck up. Next question.
2 high lives. Got this kid on his ass.
I gotta drive. The topic I want to discuss is children's movies in the 80s and 90s that were a little more harsh. If things become politically correct, or what has gone on with that. 2 examples I've recently watched with my sons are All Dogs Go to Heaven and Land Before Time, which are really Don Bluth movies, who was an ex-Disney guy that went off on his own. He did that, like Fievel, like those movies, yeah. So they all like were the same animation as Disney, but they're not Disney movies. Brave Little Toaster, like all those, like watch all those now as an adult.
Brave Little Toaster was a dark movie.
Yeah, there's a scene where like the air conditioner like fucking snaps at them for like wanting to leave, and he just like overheats and dies.
Yes.
So what happened? I guess is
I think the commercialization of children movies pushed towards a different genre of film. The sing-along, snazzy, punchy, sell a character type film, right? So Fievel, for example, like kids are not going to go buy millions of Fievel stuffed animals. It's not that kind of a hero story, no. But millions of little girls and boys are going to go buy Anna and Elsa dolls, right? So the commercialization of the product from a Disney perspective has sort of dominated the space. So they're not going to take a risk on a dark child movie.
Well, the whole movie has to be dark, but I mean, like even
they all have happy endings.
King, yeah, they all have happy endings, but like Lion King, was that really like the last movie where somebody like epically and they show like
dude, I was traumatized by that.
They show like they show him like falling into the wildebeest flow of traffic, we'll call it. When was the last time a Disney movie's done that?
They don't do it anymore. They don't.
They don't.
I don't know if it's a PC thing. I think it just really boils down to money. I think you make money with characters who are commercials you can commercialize and sell.
Or you don't show it. Like a great example of it is Up. In the beginning, the first few minutes,
Elsie,
you're crying because like you're seeing them all grow old together and she passes away. They don't show it, but she's gone and they never got to go to the falls or whatnot.
Yeah.
But so that's the more 2023 way of doing it.
I would think so. Yeah, for sure. I think that it just makes sense. Like, again, it's a commercialization aspect of it. Disney's out to make money, and you don't do that by making kids cry.
True, but now what I want to bring it around to, now we're 37 years old. We survived pretty okay, you and I, with that. But that was,
I don't know, did we?
Did we?
A lot of us went to therapy. I don't know if it was Mufasa induced or what, but something in my childhood.
Watch Land Before Time tonight. Tell me when you cry.
Yeah, no, the initial first 20 minutes.
Yeah, not even that. So the point is, does that make you, for rearing you, I know this is kind of a little bit of a psychology mixed with movie thing, but would it really be the end of the world if we kind of brought that back?
Like I said, I don't think it happens.
Just because it's a money thing.
It's a money thing.
You sit in a room with board and they're like, this is not a good move.
When you look at, like, at the end of the day, like, the people that matter are shareholders. And shareholders care about happy-go-lucky movies, and they don't give a fuck about stuff that's going to make them think or question or cry. And that's just what it is. I think on a whole, when you look at just movies in general, good movies, really fucked up good movies that like kick you in the face of horror or suspense or drama,
bloom your mind,
are fewer. Just in the grand scheme of things. The A24s of the world are the exception, not the rule. Mm-hmm. And it boils down to the cost to produce. When you're spending $30 million to make a movie that not 30 million tickets.
Off the dinosaur parents.
You're right. Exactly. Listen, I think there's a lot to be said about how cinema goes in the next 25, 30 years and where we're at. The proliferation of streaming and at-home theater systems and the cost of it all, it's going to change the way movies are made. And, we're entering a new frontier when it comes to Marvel. Like, we're through the first 4 phases of whatever and the new sort of multiverse that they're uncovering and stuff. It's going to change the way movies are made. I think you can have a Marcel the Shell with shoes on and a big budget, Iron Man movie. They can exist in both places.
Marcel will always live on.
Dude, this was great. We should do this more often. I think, have a couple months and you could watch all of the 39 movies that you didn't
I need to see.
That you need to see.
We'll call that episode the Rick needs to
Rick finally watched the movies. I think what we'll do is we'll make each other a list of, like, say 5 or 6 movies. Yeah. Easy for you because there's 50 of them that you haven't seen. Yeah. And we'll do a recap a little bit down the line.
Sounds good. And my top one for you, the first thing you'll watch is Tideland. And then you tell me, 3 o'clock in the morning, I fucking can't go to sleep at nightmares.
That sounds great. Dude, awesome. Thank you so much.
Good looks, bro.
Later, bud.